Okay. Now, again, listen, please. Some of you people had a couple questions with problems at the end, so I want to do a couple of those, and then again, we'll go over today's lesson. Again, very, very simple. All we're doing is plugging numbers into formulas, and occasionally we're working backwards. All right, but for the most part, does everybody understand? We're talking about volume. So volume is just measuring the amount of space that's inside something. All right, and to obtain that answer, you're just plugging numbers into formulas. All right, every day I say, please write the formula, please write the formula, please write the formula. Because you're going to take a test, and you're not going to be given the formulas. You're going to have to remember the formulas, which is the hard part. All right, so that's what I'm saying. Pay attention and write the formulas. Practice. It doesn't take that long to write a formula. All right, now which one did you want me to do?
Just number 15. I couldn't.
All right, so let's look at 15. Oh, yeah, it says here. Let's look at this. Now, I'm agreeing with you on here, right? The middle, but believe it or not, yeah, it's a cylinder also.
I just did it both ways.
That's good. That's perfect. All right, that's perfect. Does anybody need me to do a particular problem? All right, or was it okay?
Okay, that's good.
All right.
Or can you do number 11?
Number 11. Let's do 11 real quick. Thank you. That's a good job. All right, let's take a look at 11. Now, on 11, you're supposed to see there's a cylinder stacked on top of a cylinder. Do you agree?
Yes.
Right. So, again, I would just encourage you to write down volume equals pi r squared h plus pi r squared h. Do you agree with that?
Yep.
They're just two different volumes for two different shapes. All right. Now, we'll do the top one first. Somebody tell me what the radius of the top one is. 5. Thank you. So it's pi times 5 squared. What's the height? Thank you. 1.75 plus. Now here's something a little bit tricky. Pi. What's the radius of the second one? Come on.
4.75.
Yes, it was. Thank you very much. 4.75 squared. What's the height? 5.5. All right. So now, please just take the time. Plug that into your calculator just to make sure you're doing good. All right. I need a couple people to tell me what they got. Did you get that one? Type it in or tell me what you got.
5, 3, 5, 8.
Okay, say that again. 5.
3, 5, 8, 3, 8.
No. I don't think so.
527. Yes.
Yeah. You made a mistake with a decimal, I think, on yours. All right. I think you just accidentally didn't put in a decimal. So somebody else tell me.
527.
527.3, and then we would say inches cubed.
Yep.
Diesel, are you on that?
Yeah.
You know this, right? Come on, you guys should be double checking things.
I got it.
Everybody's double check your calculator. Are you good with that?
I can confirm that it's true.
All right, we're on the move then. Justice is good. All right, anybody else? All right, guys, you agree that? Come on now, it's not that hard. All right, let's take one more look at 14 real quick. All right, so a cube is 8 inches on each side. What is the height of the cylinder having the same volume? All right, with a radius of 4. So a cube, what's the volume of that cube going to be? Come on now, how do you find the volume of a cube? No. It's a formula from yesterday. Length times what?
Width times height.
Yes, length times width times height. But in this particular case, the length and width and height are all what? The same. So come on now, guys. Volume equals 8 times 8 times 8, which is, of course, 512 cubic inches. So that's the volume of that cube. Now write that down if you didn't know that. Come on now. Now from there it says it has the same as a cylinder. Well, what's the formula for a cylinder? Uh-huh. Yes, pi r squared times h. But it says the radius is how much? What's the radius?
4 inches.
4 inches. How did I know that? Because I read the problem. So now 512 is equal to pi times 4 squared times h. So now I need somebody to tell me what's 4 squared times pi. Ian, listen to him, please.
That is
50.3 about. 521 is equal to about 50.3 times h. So now what do I do? Divide. Somebody take 521 divided by 50.3. Don't let someone else do that. What do we got?
10.4.
Is that right? About 10.4?
Yep.
So we'd say about 10.4 inches. Inches, not cubes, not squares. Inches, because we're measuring a what? We're measuring a length. We're measuring a length.
So length is the square.
Right. Length is 1 dimension. Area is,
2.
and volume is, that's what they mean by 1 dimension, 2 dimension, and 3 dimension.
So that's why
512. Oh, yeah, I just transposed those. Thank you very much. All right. So I'm feeling pretty good about that.
Did you make
Divide. Take 512 divided by 50.3. What is it? Yeah, 10.2. Just because I transposed those numbers. Sorry, guys. 10.2. Okay, now listen. Let's move into the next lesson, which is,
12.7?
thank you, 12.7. All right. Now, again, this is kind of annoying, all right, because I got really only one new formula and then a second formula because they're talking about a sphere, which is a ball. All right. So everybody look up here. The volume of a pyramid and a cone. I want to star that or highlight that. All right. Now, what I want to do is I want to show you this. And I want someone to see if they can figure out what the formula is.
So we just do
Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Here. I could probably do it better, but I just want to show you this. Now look up for a quick second. All right, so I can try to show you something. All right. What I did was I'm trying to show you what a cone, how a cone is made. All right, or a pyramid, I'm sorry. So look up on the board. What's the volume of that shape again? What was the general formula I told you it was? Volume equals area of the base times the height. That's what I said. Please look up. All you have to do is look up so I can show you. I don't want you trying to memorize everything. I want you to understand how they came up with the formula. I'm going to draw a pyramid, Aiden. What are you doing? Come on, I want you right up here watching what I'm showing you so you can see it's not about memorizing all the formulas. Look up. I'm going to try to create a pyramid for you. And then I want you to try to tell me what the formula is. All right? Now, to draw this pyramid, I'm going to put a dot right in the middle. And then I'm going to draw down here. And I'm going to draw down here. And I'm going to draw down here. And I'm going to draw to here. And then I'm going to take this right here. I'm going to draw this way. Please watch. I'm going to draw this here. Can everybody kind of see that looks like a pyramid, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, now watch what I'm going to do. I think it's pretty interesting. I'm trying to get you to see if you can tell me what you think the volume is. So if you're making a comparison about what fraction of that prism is left when I drew the cone. About what fraction?
Quarter.
1/2 is good. What did you say?
Quarter.
Quarter is good. Somebody else? 1/4. Somebody else? Thomas? You're good at drawing. About how much is that? That's a really good job of guessing. It looks like less than half, though. Does everybody agree? All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it back in here, and I'm going to try to show you what I did to try to remind myself what the formula is. Right? Here's what I want you to think about. Look right here. I'm going to cut this out from here. And to me, when I cut it that way, it looked like I was cutting 1/3 of it. And then I cut over here, which meant I cut another what? 1/3. So how much is left if I cut 1/3 and 1/3? Think about what you're saying now before you say something. If I cut 1/3 and then I cut another 1/3, in other words, if you eat a pizza and today you eat 1/3 of it and tomorrow you eat another 1/3, how much is left? 1/3. That's how you should be thinking about it. The formula for a pyramid or a cone is simply, instead of the base times the height, somebody tell me.
1/3.
That is absolutely correct. 1/3 the base times the height. So I want everybody to put down the volume of a pyramid is 1/3 the base of the height. Now look, if you didn't watch what I did on the board, you didn't pay attention, when you go to remember all these formulas, you're not going to know how to remember the formulas. You should be able to intuitively look at that and say, well, that's about 1/3 if I cut all the other slices out. Does everybody understand that? And you couldn't see that unless you observed what I was doing. Did you see what I did? Aiden? All right, you understand what I did, right? So if you know the formulas for the prisms, now you know the formulas for the what? The cones and the pyramids. Right? So let me see how that works out. So up here, question number 1. That's a pyramid, right?
Yeah.
So I want everybody to come down and tell me what's the formula for a pyramid.
B equals 1/3 base times.
Yes, 1/3 base times height. That's what you have to write down first. Thomas, are you listening? I really need you to listen. Now I need someone to tell me what's the shape of the base.
Triangle.
A triangle. So capital B stands for area of the base. So now you got to listen to me. Volume equals 1/3. What's the formula for area of a triangle? Very good. 1/2 base times height times capital H. And capital H is just the height of the pyramid. Justice, did I do a good job on that explanation?
Yeah.
All right. Thomas, you understand me? Now look, guys, I'm telling you, put your hand up now because we're only going to get a little bit harder. What?
So you gotta find the volume of the thing that the cone is sitting on?
Yes, the area, not the volume. The area of the base. You find the area of the base. Multiply it by the height, and then multiply it by 1/3 or divide it by 3. Thank you very much, Diesel.
So what's the 1/2?
Okay, let me just highlight this just because he didn't hear me. 1/2 base times height. Who wants to tell me what 1/2 base times height represents? McElpatrick. Area of a triangle. Now that corresponds to this right here, Diesel. Do you hear me? That's the base. That is the base. So now, you want to tell me the numbers. What numbers am I plugging in here?
So for base, the little b,
Uh-huh.
is that gonna be 12?
Good.
And then the height's gonna be 17?
No. It would also be 12. And then, what's 17? The capital H. Now look, believe it or not, I want to tell you something. It wouldn't have mattered. Because it's all multiplication. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
But here's what I'm trying to show you. Please look up and make sure you're seeing me. That goes for everybody. I'm going to make it even dark. This right here is the actual height of the pyramid. Do you hear me? That's the height. Now look down here. Please watch. This down here is the base and height of the what? Triangle. You hear me on that now? Come on, guys. You got to look up now. Make sure you're paying attention. I don't want you missing something. It's because it's what? Super what? Easy. It's really easy. But it's really hard if you don't understand the formula. So now I want someone to multiply 1/3 times 1/2 times 12 times 12 times 17.
408.
408. Anybody else get that?
Yes.
Wow, pat yourself on the back, girl. Feels good, doesn't it? 408 what?
So when you write parentheses inside of parentheses, don't you need brackets?
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. You can use a bracket if you want, but it's all the same. You with me?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so I need attention on number 2. What is the formula for volume of a pyramid or a cone? I want the formula.
V equals 1/3 V base times height.
Yeah, so everybody has to write down V equals 1/3 base times height. However, this base is a what, Chloe? So what's the formula for area of a circle?
A equals
That is correct. So my volume is equal to 1/3 pi r squared times h.
Wait, why did you
Why do I do the 1/3? Maybe it's because it's right there in the formula.
Why did you put the B?
Because the base is the what? Somebody help her. What's the base? The base is the circle. Hello? You with me now? All right. Good question. Now look, I'm telling you guys, I don't think that's that hard. Remember the formula, 1/3 base times height. Then you have to tell me what the base is, and you replace the base with the formula. All right? But if you don't know the formulas, guess what this is? Impossible. All right? So hear me out now. I need to hear. Good. Diesel, tell me what do I write?
I put 1/3
Good.
times 5
Good.
times 1.5 squared
Wow. Times.
times 3.
Wow. Welcome back, Diesel. Feels good to have you back. That's what happens when you pay attention all period. Now, type that on the calculator and let Diesel have his, glory here, but you better be right.
I got 7.1.
7.1 what?
I got 7.1 yards cubed.
Yes, sir. But I need someone to make sure they know 7.1. Anybody else get 7.1?
Yeah.
All right. The girls said that's what they got, so we know we're right, because girls are always...
Right. Wrong.
All right.
That's sexist.
I know. Here we go.
Justice in the back.
Number 3. Everybody needs to put a star by number 3 because this is just a special formula you just have to remember. All right, everybody put a little star by number 3. You just have to memorize this. And I wish there was a better way, but when you take calculus, you'll learn how they came up with this formula. Right now, you have to memorize.
I think
All right.
I know.
How would you know? I'll be
Okay.
impressed if you do.
So, isn't it because if you put a bunch of circles inside of like a shape, and then you keep making them smaller, you'll eventually fill the shape infinitely smaller?
Wow, that's pretty good, but I want to, since you said something, I want to show you. Here's what they did. All right, I'll try to make a quick little demonstration. All right, so this is a circle. And we know what the equation of that circle is. That equation of that circle, you'll learn next year, is x squared plus y squared equals r squared. What they did, believe it or not, is they revolved this circle around, all right? And when you make a revolution here, it's going to create a what? A bunch of smaller circles. And guess what they did to all of those circles?
So,
Smaller.
they made them.
They added up all the circles' areas. When they added up all the areas, they came up with the formula for the volume. That's exactly how they did it. That's why it takes a little bit more time when you get to calculus. They'll tell you about how to add up an infinite. They'll teach you how to add up an infinite number of things. Doesn't make sense, though. How can you add up? How can you add up something that's an infinite, all right, number of things? Right. So here we go. So now the formula, believe it or not, the formula is volume equals 4/3 pi r. Now, volume is how many dimensions?
3.
3. That's why we know it's to the third power. All right. So that's the formula for volume of a sphere. You have to remember 4/3 pi r cubed. Now, some of you, I'm going to show you, so relax. I already know what your question is. But what's the radius of that circle, somebody?
3.5. Oh, yes. Sorry, I was thinking.
What's going on back there, Leighton? 7 to the 3rd power. Thank you very much. Now, some of you are going to be, I never know how to put a cube on my calculator. How do you help me? All right, here's what you got to do that. Listen, I want everybody to type this in. 4 divided by 3 times pi times 7. Now, some people have this button on their calculator. Look, caret 3. All right. Now, some of you have on your calculator this button. X to the Y or Y to the X. You with me? All right, so if you have that, you hit times 7, hit that button, and then you hit 3. All right? No, not e to the x. All right, not e to the x. So let me show you where yours is. All right. Yes, that's you right there.
I got it.
Mr. Stroh, I have A to B, so.
Caret button right there.
How carrot? I don't have a
You hit
carrot.
that, and then you type in a 3.
Wow.
Wow.
Thank
Mr. Stroh, I got an answer. It might not be correct.
Looks like that.
Yeah, here we go. Listen, guys, I want to make myself clear here, guys. Most of them are y to the x, it looks like.
Mine's A to B.
So mode.
I switch it every time, but like, what about if I have a fraction in pi?
Because you messed up, Drew.
You tell me when I try to take
No, just 3 divided by 4. That's what, 4 divided by 4. That's how you do it.
I know how. Never mind.
I told you it's right there.
You never told me.
It's right there on the board. Either y to the x or x to the y.
Here, let me see it again.
Now, yes. Okay, guys, listen, please, for a quick second. All right, I'm going to show you now how to do it on your calculator. Just listen to me again. Most of the time now, guys, because you're getting a decimal answer, instead of using the fraction button 4/3, just say what? 4 divided by 3. Everybody type in 4 divided by 3. Come on, let's make sure we're doing this right. 4 divided by 3. Then after you do 4 divided by 3, you just hit times, then hit the pi button. And then, no, you're not listening. I'm not asking for a total yet. You're typing it straight into the calculator. So everybody hit clear again. Come on, pay attention. I don't want you to hit enter. I want you to type in on your calculator 4 divided by 3. Then you hit times pi times 7. Then you either hit the caret, the x to the y, or y to the x, whatever your calculator is, and then you hit 3, then you hit equals. And that should give you a number. And what number was that?
1,436.8.
All right, and we would say cubic feet. Yeah, syntax error just means you typed in incorrectly. Come on. 4 times 5 times what? Y. Okay, what's the matter? Well, come here, girl, come on. Come on, what?
Oh, you just go ahead.
Yeah, do the next one. Everybody try number 4. Times 5, times 7. That's not a y to the x button.
Mine's weird. This looks like, was that one you called? No, it's a TV show.
Okay, number 4. Here we go. Volume. I want V equals 1/3 base times height. Everybody has to write that down. 1/3 base times height. Now, what's the base? A rectangle. So this time it's going to be V equals 1/3 length times width times height. The height of the pyramid. Joseph, did you get that yet? Well, tell me what the answer is then. Type it in. I'm waiting patiently. Hurry up. Anybody else agree with that?
I got my number's confusing me.
Yeah, that's good.
Say it again.
1,398.3. Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Absolutely.
And then we would say what? Meters cubed. Then we would say meters cubed.
Don't you feel happy?
And again, she's very good. So we're going to do this, though. Approximately. The squiggly lines. Not the equal to, because they're not equal. They're approximately equal. Okay, let me see. 5, 6. Listen, I want everybody to cross out number 8. Everybody cross out number 8. I want to do number 9 now. Hey, everybody's with me on number 9. That's the last one for today. And then I'm just going to make you finish the rest of those problems. All right, we won't have to do the second page. All right, listen to me now. Find the height of a cone with a radius of 12 and a volume of 408. So, what's the formula again for volume of a cone? V equals 1/3. Wait a minute. The first thing I want everybody to write down is 1/3 base times height. Everybody has to write down 1/3 base times height. Now you have to tell me what is the shape of the base of a cone. A circle. So now you have to tell me what's the formula for area of a circle. Diesel.
It's pi times r squared.
Yes. Perfect. 1/3 pi r squared times h. All right, now we're getting into the algebra. So this is the hard part, so you got to kind of pay attention a little bit. What did they say the volume was? 408 what? 408 what?
Pi.
408 pi. So I want everybody to put down 408 pi equals 1/3 pi. What's the radius? 12 squared times h. Now look, here, I normally wouldn't do this if I was writing this worksheet, so I want everybody to look up here so you can see what I'm saying. Does everybody agree there's a pi on both sides?
Yeah.
Does everybody agree I can just divide both sides by pi?
Yeah.
And what happens to the pi's? They cross out. That's what I want you to understand, guys. So I want everybody to change the color and say we're going to, just to show your algebra skills, I want you to put divided by pi and divided by pi, and then what happens? They cancel out. All right, so then I want you to rewrite this as now 408 is equal to, somebody tell me what 1/3 times 12 squared is. Bradley, that's too slow. What's 1/3 times 12 squared? You should be able to tell me. 48. H. Now you got to make sure you're looking at that saying how I got the 48H. If you're not paying attention, I don't think you can tell me how I got the 48H. What?
Oh, right.
Final answer.
You divide by 48.
Divide by 48. So H is how much? 8.5. 8.5 what?
Inches cubed.
What?
Inches.
Why inches?
Because it's height.
It's height. Height is one-dimensional. So it's 8.5 inches. If I was asking for an area, we would do squares. If I was asking for volume, we'd be doing cubes. You hear me? That's the algebra. Okay, so now please, how much time do we have?
2 minutes.
Yeah, 2 minutes, not much time. So your homework, I want you to try 10 I want you to try 7, 5, and 6. 5, 6, 7, and 10. Thomas, did you hear me? 5, 6, 7, and 10. You can cross out number 8. Now, please do a good job, guys, just like you did last
Where
night.
are the rest of them? I'm not
You don't have
No.
to do them. People. You're not hearing. Oh my God, are you not paying attention for the 6th time this week?
He's kept track.
All right, Justice. Thanks for your help, man.